People that try to create hierarchies are unsafe. Controversial deep dive. Now, I said it before, most relationships are mutual, but people that try to create hierarchies are one of two people. Either want to be Regina George or they're desperate to be her lapdog. And the people that are desperate to be her lapdog are hoping Regina George dies so that they can one day be what? Regina George. Opt out, be neither. But back to most relationships are mutual. People will try to fight me on that. Let me deep dive, let me flow for a second. Engaging in relationships where the dynamic is not mutual is ethically problematic. Because whether people like to admit it or not, most relationships are mutual. If I was to say to you, hey, behind this door is someone that does not like you and they'll never like you, you would probably say, is there another door? I don't want to walk in that door. Most people do not want to enter into that dynamic. People like to pursue mutual connection. You like me, so we spend time together. They would always choose to pursue an interpersonal relationship of mutual interest, unless they're trying to create a hierarchy, which is messed up, morally dishonest. People begin most dynamics with the understanding that this is mutual and we're both pursuing each other either in a friendship or relationship way. We're embarking on this journey together, and hopefully if we diverge, there can be some sort of indicator that we are diverging. But to diverge and not show any indicator of that divergence is morally dishonest. And if you were behaving or communicating in a way that was congruent with how you felt, they would be on the same page or close to it. You don't like me, you start treating me like you don't like me. I also don't like you now. ¿Me entiendes? But you gatekeeping the switch up is crazy. It is actually crazy to do. And the only reason you would gatekeep that switch up is to give yourself the upper hand and manipulate the situation so that you're in a position to reject the other person and not vice versa. If they knew the truth about what you were thinking, how you felt, or maybe some of your secrets, they likely wouldn't like you. You don't like me, don't worry, I didn't like you first. The truth is, most people would feel incompatible with you to a similar degree if you were being honest. For example, if you wanted to conceal the fact that you did a ton of drugs from someone that you were interested in because you thought maybe they were going to be judgmental, but you really secretly think they're a loser for not doing drugs, well, once you told them that you did drugs, they would be like, well, it's just not my shtick. So you want to give them the opportunity to not judge you because you want to judge them first. Silly. But you're concealing things. You're being performative by continuing the charade. No one's bigger than the program, and the people that act like in that smug way are kind of embarrassing in how they think that other people would want them past their expiration date. That they're so terrific, so desirable that this person would be pining for them in a way that makes them feel pathetic. They're playing out this weird fantasy where they're Regina George and you're their desperate lapdog. No, most people want healthy relationships that are not hierarchical. Using that example, Regina George and her minions, everyone in that relationship was better off leaving that friendship behind. It was a performative friendship. Everybody was being manipulated. Everyone was healthier going their separate ways. They say you need to be cruel to be kind, and that's not advocating for cruelty, but taking that step towards integrity and honesty, where you say, I have nothing against you, but I'm understanding that we have differences that make us incompatible with long-term friendship. And saying it early on or acting like it early on. You shouldn't be acting like someone's best friend when you do not feel like their best friend. You shouldn't be having sleepovers every night with someone you think is your nemesis. That's messed up of you. You shouldn't be sleeping with someone you secretly don't like. You know how messed up that is? Like, that's crazy work. There's a degree of leading someone on that's like a little delusional. People are not attaching to you with no crumbs. You're not a magnetic witch, you're a weirdo. You led them to this conclusion because you're desperate for their validation, their admiration, their approval. You're just too insecure to admit that if you didn't need those things, there would be no bond formed towards you. It would be neutral. There would be no allure towards you. You wouldn't feel like this was intense, or if it was like a breakup, like a friendship breakup, a situationship breakup, a relationship breakup, if you didn't play into it, but you did. Lead them on because you know it's the only thing that's going to create a connection, that confidence boost that you need so bad. You're not getting that unless you propagate that push-pull. Your input creates that output. So friendship bombing, love bombing, you love it. You create the dynamic. And it's insecure and dishonest behavior. It's overcompensating at the top of the inning, so you can underdeliver and reject them at the end of the game. Had that same game been played honestly, they would have thought you were a loser. Because clearly you have to be kind of a loser to bait and switch someone into giving you attention. Just saying, anyone you've ever rejected was on the same path to rejecting you. You don't need a trophy. Everyone goes home a winner when they drop dead weight. Anyways, bye Pookies.